So.
All right, good lucky day. We got it.
All right. Going? Oh,
As long as we don't get any lightning, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What we got? 5 minutes?
6:55.
Are we sitting at the head table?
I don't know. I'm just here to be told what to do. I don't know.
Well, Zane's in charge. He's in the middle.
All right.
Aren't you, Zane?
Go flank me over here.
We'll flank you. I want to be on the right. I don't ever want. I want to be on the left of anything. Sorry.
Well, we're going to have
This will be your first actual workout of the year. All right, good evening and welcome to Demon Stadium tonight. Guys, it is football time here in Dumas.
No doubt. 21 days from tonight. Now 20 days and about 18 hours or so. 19 hours.
And this is 21 years for us on the
Our
radio. I think
21st
you
year.
said.
It is, yeah.
I'll tell you, 21's coming up everywhere.
Well, it will be the 99th year of playing football in Dumas.
Wow.
99. Do you remember the 98?
Well, the 98th year, yeah, that was last
Yeah, it was
year.
last year.
I can
Yeah.
take you back to the year 1925 and the score. And
That's right.
It was 0-4 that year for the Demons.
The dentist can almost tell you the whole spectrum from 1925 on, right?
That's just about right, yeah.
Well, it's exciting. We're here today or tomorrow, I guess, would be the first day that put on pads and hit each other and kind of get after it like that. It's looking grim right
It is,
now.
there's a little lightning in the air, and every lightning strike means a 30-minute delay, as we've seen before football games and in football games, and the same is true with practice. And Coach already said, we're not gonna be here all night waiting for a 30-minute clear. So we hope that they will be able to practice at midnight, but my look at the weather earlier is doubtful, so.
Hey, but we're happy that you've joined us tonight. We're going to talk Dumas football for the next hour and get you ready for this 2024 season. And like we've said, a lot of anticipation on our part. This team is bringing back a ton of talent from last year's team. A lot of skill players on both sides of the ball. Unlike last year where we were returning 2, maybe 3 guys that had seen some time on defense, we're returning 9 this year. The offense, in a lot of the same way, we've got almost skill positions at every spot. Bringing back a couple offensive linemen. It's looking like it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, not only that, but you've got the newcomer of the year in the district, who was Colton Mills. He's going to be a sophomore quarterback.
Yeah.
Imagine that, a sophomore, and he has, 6 games under his belt as a starter. And then you have several all-district players both ways, so it's just going to be fun to talk about some of those players.
You're talking about Colton Mills. I remember last year after that Decatur game, they just ended up losing, but the coaching, not the coaching staff, I guess it was a radio staff, came down and talked to us on the way out and said that Colton Mills could spin the ball. And even though they kind of had an idea maybe what he was going to do, and that's a different story, but he was still able to complete passes in a stacked up defense against his passing. So he's a talented young man as a sophomore.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're going to talk all night about different players, different guys in different spots. Just before we kind of talk with Coach Dunham and kind of start breaking down everything, what are you most looking forward to? Are you looking forward to seeing what our defense is going to do, which has been pretty good traditionally? Or are you looking forward to see what the offense is going to do, which I think has a lot of excitement coming back this next year?
Well, that's a good question. Dennis, you have a quick answer?
Well, I got several angles on that question.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about our offense. Last year, we had speed at wide receiver that could go deep and throw the vertical pattern and really create havoc for the defense for the opposing team. I don't know if we got that same speed or not. Probably have speed, but maybe not equal to the speed we had then. And then on the other side of it is, we only have returning 2 offensive linemen, I think, Ty Temple and what's his name, Charlie Gomez, I think, are the 2 returning offensive linemen. But you've got replacements come in, so I want to see how the offensive line develops, and that's always key to any ball game.
Well, I could answer both, but what I'm really excited about is the offense under a second-year sophomore quarterback, Colton Mills. And a lot of people don't keep up with the Dumas football like we do, but I'm going to take you back to 7-on-7.
Yeah.
They made the state tournament again. They didn't do very well on the first day. In fact, I was on a trip and I saw that they'd lost all 3 games. I thought, well, I don't have to worry about tuning in the next day. And then I couldn't get the internet, but then the day after I got the internet and I started looking, oh my goodness, they went all the way to the championship game. And that means they had some kind of turnaround. But the very fact you made it to the championship game, I think, says a lot about your skilled players. Now, if you get the offensive line to merge with all of that, then and to meld with all of that, I think you're going to see an offense that's very prolific.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's exciting because you've got talent that last year you began to see what they could do once they kind of matured.
Yeah.
And get some time out there, and not only just your sophomore quarterback, but being able to see the explosiveness from guys like Johnny Marquez and Emmanuel Marquez.
Yeah.
really make you excited about the offense. But then you turn over and you look at the defense with both of those guys in the defensive backfield. But, Dustin Coey and Connor Fry, a couple guys on that are linebackers. It gets pretty exciting thinking about what they can do.
Well, if you look at the roster this year, Dumas has 20 seniors, 13 juniors, 5 sophomores, and 1 freshman. Those 20 seniors have got a lot of game time experience over the years of getting to their senior year. And so all that experience coming back is going to be valuable to be able to coach and extend even further than that. And we're going to have a new defensive coordinator with Justin Phillips, there you are, I'm sorry. Brought up another thought I had, but anyway. But anyway, so we got some changes that's coming that we're going to look forward to, yeah.
All right, this is going to be hard because I didn't give you any of these questions beforehand, and I'll do mine first so that you can think about it.
Okay.
I want you to make a bold prediction about this team. A bold prediction about this team. Here's what my bold prediction is about this team. I think we will have a game this season, if not multiple games, but at least one game this season where you see us score on all 3 sides of the ball. I think we'll return a kick in special teams, whether it's a punt or a kickoff. I think that we will return an interception for a touchdown and then obviously score on offense.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, what was your question again?
A bold prediction
Bold
about
prediction.
this team.
Okay.
Bold prediction.
No borders.
No borders. You want us to think
Yes.
way outside the box. Yours was way outside the box. It was a good
It's
answer.
way outside the box.
It is. Okay, here's my bold prediction. We will
Okay.
have one, maybe multiple games where Johnny Marquez has over 200 yards rushing and over 100 yards catching.
Wow.
That could happen. That could happen.
I like that.
Or maybe the other way around, 200
Yeah.
yards catching and 100 yards rushing. And I've got one more.
Okay.
I'm going to make a bold prediction that we'll have at least one game where Emino Marquez catches a touchdown pass and returns either a picked up fumble or an interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, I like that
Bold.
too. That is bold.
I don't know if mine is a single game boldness, but I'm going to say as a team, we're going to sweep district. And right now, the Texas football magazine down there, Dave Campbell, they have the Canyon schools in 1, 2, 3, and Dumas coming in 4. That kind of irritates me. So I'm going to say Dumas is going to sweep district and win district and go on to deep into the playoffs.
Well, if anybody's listened to us and they've listened to our broadcast, if this is the 21st year that we've called Dumas games, we've at least picked Dumas to go 210-0.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
But with all the playoff games, it's maybe about 225-0. So
I've never heard us pick against Dumas.
no. I want before we move on, I want to make sure and thank Raymond Brady for being up here. We cannot do any of the broadcasts that we do during the year, the coaches show. All the things that happen through Dumas ISD YouTube channel happen because of Raymond Brady. And so thank you, Raymond, for being up here tonight.
Yeah.
I know that he has been busy with all the schools and everything that goes on during the year, especially even as the school year starts.
And especially they've got 2 new elementary schools opening up and one that's just been functioning for a year. I would imagine he's been pretty busy this summer.
Yes,
Be my guess.
It's called teamwork, guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to Raymond Brady for being here tonight. We're going to go ahead and take one quick break right now. When we come back, we'll have Coach Dunham with us. We'll be back right after this.
We need. Where's he going to sit?
We'll scoot around and sit there on the end. You want to go get it? All right, welcome back to Demon Stadium again here as we kick off, get you ready for Dumas Demon football in 2024. We've got the head coach of the Dumas Demons, Aaron Dunham. Coach Dunham, good to have you in here.
Hey, thank y'all for having me. Appreciate y'all doing this.
You know, 20 days, Coach. 20 days we'll be in Amarillo.
Can't wait. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know that you do. I was going to figure out how many hours, but
We've got a lot of work to do before then, so.
no doubt.
We can hear the rain falling outside. It has definitely hit here at the stadium. Coach, unlike last year, this team has a lot of experience coming back. You've got 9 guys on the defensive side, I think 7 maybe on the offensive side. Talk about the experience you've got coming back this year.
We do. I mean, total night and day compared to our team last year. That was the that was the talk moving into last year, was just our our lack of experience, and not so right now. We do. We returned 9 on defense, and then offensively returned 6 or 7, and then a freshman quarterback that now will be a sophomore, a year under his belt, a summer underneath his belt with 7 on 7. And so just excited about that, and the kids that we have coming back, because we have, and we've noticed that here in the first 4 to 5 days of practice, that we have a lot on right now offensively, a lot on defensively. That is all due to the experience that we have coming back for us.
Yeah.
Why don't you break down, let's start with defensive side, who we've got coming back.
Sure, very. We've got one hole at the inside linebacker. Got a really experienced secondary back. We've got Johnny Marquez at safety, Emmanuel Marquez at safety, which we played Emmanuel everywhere last year. We played him at James Coley at corner, and then we're playing kids both ways. We've got Reese Waddell, we've got Blake Robinson both playing corner. And then we've got two really experienced outside linebackers, and Dustin Coley and Connor Fry coming back at outside linebacker. We've got Xavier Caroga at the defensive end, and then we've got some holes there. They're on our D line. Right now we've got Renee Castor-John that's working in there at our nose position right now, and then Race Thornburg is a guy that we still got to battle. We got to battle with the other defensive end. With a few guys, but I would say that's probably our question mark right now. And then inside backer, we return Eden Loera at inside linebacker, and then there's our other. So we talked about 9 starters coming back. There's our 2 spots: defensive end, another spot at inside linebacker. So we've got a L2 and Shooter Coon right now are battling out for that position. So I'm excited about that. Excited with the kids that we do have coming back and the experience that we have on our defense.
You guys have questions about the defense?
I'll ask one.
Go ahead. I'll come up with one.
Josh Hernandez went to Perkins, your head coach, and now then you've got Justin Phillips coming in. Do you expect any change in defense from that angle?
I do not.
I didn't think so. But
Maybe the main reason, because I'm a defensive guy too. So this was just the defense that I brought in here, and that we've been running, and so excited about Justin and what he brings to the table. He's a very intelligent coach that has served his time, and he's ready for this. He's done a great job for us. Has a great relationship with kids, and has just done an outstanding job, in our secondary.
Yeah.
And so it's he will be coordinating from a little bit different spot, from the secondary, and so maybe some different things we have to do in practice to get him, because when we practice, we do some different things with an inside hole, and so he's going to have to be able to come to that. But we've got Anthony Mariscal. We've got two coaches in the secondary. Justin really works with the corners, and Coach Mariscal works with the safeties, and so that'll he'll be able to still do that. He'll be able to get to the inside and be able to do those things. We're excited about our defense, and it will not look any different. It'll be the same defense we've had.
will they be on the field during the games?
Who?
Your coordinators.
They will. They will.
Okay.
Both. Yes. Nobody will be in the box.
Okay.
We've had that time to time, an offensive coordinator in the box, but no, they will both be on the field. Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, you talked to us a lot about defense to formation, and we kind of talk about that sometimes during the broadcast, but just a brief explanation for the people who are listening. Defense to formation, tell us what that is.
Sure. So we don't. I mean, now we we're not just making from the sideline, maybe from the offense, just like the offense does. We're not making every call from the sideline. We on Saturdays and Sundays we're in here looking defense to formation, and we're looking at the data, and we're finding out the offense's strengths and weaknesses and what they do. And then we come up with a defense, that we believe aligns to that. Now we've got a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. I mean, we're not just going in with one plan, but Monday and Tuesday, that's what we're really working on with our inside linebackers. Check everything. Our secondary makes all of our checks, and so they will every time look over the sideline, wonder if, and we'll give them a sign if we're going to play it or if we're going to make a check. But yes, we defensive formation, we blitz to formation. We just and our inside linebackers making every one of those calls, and so it's not us every single call of deciding. We're not just a shot in the dark. We're not just making calls defensively and just hoping it'll work. I mean, we've done our study and we've done our data, and so that's the way that we do defense.
And so if their offense comes out 2 by 2, your secondary calls. If they come out 2 by 1, they make a call. 3 by 1.
Sure.
If it's just one receiver on either side and 2 running backs, they make the call.
Sure. So personnel driven. Maybe one tight end, 2 backs, no tight ends. 10 personnel. 2 by 2, 3 by 1. Yes, and then maybe where the backfield, where the backs lined up, we're just making all these checks. So our Mike linebacker, which was Eden Loera, he's making every one of those checks. He's telling our D-line what to do, where to get. Our safeties make all the checks in the back end, just get our kids lined up, and then our kids go play.
So basically, every week your kids learning a game plan, and it takes a little football intelligence. And
sure.
And they have it because they learn it every week.
Sure, and you have to have the ability, to trash last week's and wipe the slate clean and be able to bring on new information. Now we have things that, the basics that we're not going to change, that we're going to live by, and that we build on from week to week to week and add to. But there might be one week where we say, what we did last week, and that's totally done. We're not doing that. Here's the game plan this week. Here's what we're going to do, and so we try to teach our kids the basics, and then just build off of certain things that we're teaching them. So
I've heard over the years where a lot of defenses say we want our defensive line to stand up to offensive blockers and let our linebackers make the tackle.
Sure.
Is that y'all defense?
It is us. We're a gap control defense. We're gap sound, and so there are going to be times where we're going to ask our D line to take off blocks and to keep people off our linebackers and let them make plays. But there'll be times, too, where they're trying to stunt and move and penetrate and not do that. So it's a little bit about. We are gap sound. I mean, we're a 3-4. And we're going to try to have a defender in every gap and try to just plus one, try to add one more person than the offense can get there. I mean, that's my idea of defense.
I think the best defense is everybody meet at the point of attack and come with a bad attitude.
That'd be great. I hope we can do that every play this year. So
Yeah.
Well, let's move over to the offensive side of the ball. Talk about your offense coming back.
Return 6. A lot of those on the skill positions. We returned a lot of our offensive linemen. Or a lot of our receivers back and linemen. We do have a couple of holes there. We're like I talked about defensively. We're going to play a lot of kids both ways.
Sure.
Running back, we graduated both of those kids from last year, so there's some open spots at running back. Johnny Marquez is one of those that's playing a lot of that. Mills is back at quarterback. Will be a very, very experienced coming off. Last year there was a lot of times where he lined up that he didn't even. I'm not for sure that he even realized what was going on. I think he was just reacting a lot of the times. Because I've even heard he made that comment. He made the comment when we started this summer that he actually knows what's going on. He's understanding how to read defenses. He knows our offense, and so I think we'll see some really, really good things out of him. We return Titan Temple at the offensive line. Really, really big physical kid for us. James Coley, a receiver. Emil Marquez, Johnny Marquez, playing them both ways. Reese Waddell. Robinson, and then we return, two or three of our offensive linemen that are back as well. So excited about that. And again, when you start talking about starters and counting numbers, I mean, there's we might even return more than
Well,
6
sure.
or 7.
And even Aaron Durant.
Exactly,
Yeah.
no doubt. I mean, at multiple positions,
Yeah.
And so we're excited. We're excited about what we have coming back. Excited. I mean, I can tell you already in camp here that I've talked with Coach Waddell that I think we have a lot on already offensively. And we're able to do a lot of things. So.
Well, you talking about Tyden Temple. I started noticing him in the 9th grade, and he told me he was 6'2" and 282 pounds. And I said, "That's big enough to be a quarterback. I'm gonna call you QB1." So over the years, he's continued to grow. Now, and he's 6'5", 300 plus, whatever pounds it is. And I told him the last time I saw him, I said, "You made all district now." I said, "I can't call you QB1 because the coach won't let you throw a pass anyway." So I said, "I'm gonna call you the road grader." And you know what that means? They clear out a lot of space for the running back. So you guys worked on that road grader and make him clear out some space out there.
He can do it. He can clear up some space. He's already started doing that right now.
Well,
So,
that's good.
but he is. We're excited about him. We're Charlie Gomez is another
Yeah.
returner on the
Yeah.
offensive line that's back.
Yeah.
Renee Casterjohn played at the offensive line last year. We're actually using him a little bit more on defense right now, but we're excited about it. If you were asking me, where maybe two of our some of our question marks, maybe just the gel of our offensive line. We've got some new faces there. Thunder Mayo he played some for us last year, but he's sort of penciled in right now as maybe one of our starters, doing a really good job. Really excited about him, but we've got a few spots there that are up for grabs with our offensive line and our defensive line. So those would be two of my question marks right now as we enter camp.
Well, Coach, you hear a lot of college coaches and teammates say, well, our culture is in certain areas like our quarterback room or our running back room or relationships and all that. How do you think the culture and relationship of the Dumas football players have with the coaches, like such as yourself and your coaches?
That's really what we're about. It's really not about winning football games. It's really creating a culture that we talk about culture a lot. We talk about it all the time, and it's really about the love and compassion for one another. Nobody's greater than the team. Effort and attitude, and so it's huge. It's really big, and we're excited about the future and what's coming, and it's all about relationships, every bit of it. And we have a locker room full of kids that I do believe love one another, and I think we have a group of coaching staff that does the exact same thing. So we're excited about what we have going.
Do you have any one particular person that say is the leader of our team that to lead us on? And I don't know exactly what that means.
Sure.
Everybody can be a leader, but sometimes you just have some vocal people that says, "Follow me."
Sure. I don't know if we have that right now. We've got a lot of workers.
Yeah.
That's always. Since I've moved to Dumas, we've never been a huge raw team. Never have, and I've been a lot of different places where we were, and that's just sort of not our nature. That's not who we are. But and I don't think you try to make somebody that they're not. It doesn't always have to be raw. It doesn't always have to be the loudest guy. I do think actions speak a lot louder than words, and that's sort of who we are. Our kids work extremely hard. And I think, those leaders on our team are the guys that show up every single day, that work extremely hard. I think Emma Marquez is a great leader on our team. Very, very quiet kid.
Really?
But he does exactly what he's supposed to do. He's here every day. He's here early. He stays late. Multiple sport athlete that works really, really hard. And doesn't talk a lot, but plays really well. A guy that is probably on the field. That leads just because he's a pretty good athlete. He's Johnny Marquez, hard worker, and we're playing him multiple positions right now. That guy, I'd really like to know, how many the mileage that he has on his legs every single day in every practice, because he's getting a lot of reps.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know if this is appropriate right now to ask tonight, but you talking about you've been here 21 years, I think, and been in other places as well. In the 21 years that you've been here at Dumas, have you seen any changes in football in general and coaching technique and style in your 21 years here at Dumas?
Well, I think the game's changing it's changing every day, and so you've got to always be able to change with it. I think that's why high school coaches are really good. You know, I mean, you look right down the road at Texas Tech, and they hired, you know, a high school football coach. We aren't able to recruit our kids. We've got to be able to deal with whatever kids we have. We've got to be able to change our schemes and change our techniques and the different things that we do per who we have. And so I think high school football coaches are some of the best coaches in the world. And so, but it is. I think if you've quit, if you've stopped, you know, if you stop growing, if you stop changing, it's time to get out of the profession. So I'm always looking for growth. I'm always looking for new ideas and new ways to do things. You know, you look at tackling. I mean, tackling has changed. It's changed a lot, but it's changed for the better. You know, we're you know, you used to teach the head across the bow and get your head across. I mean, we're different. We're different because of the size of our kids, how we tackle, where we tackle. I mean, we still do, you know, some old school things. We're still get the head across the bow in certain things, but that's not the majority of what we're coaching, what we're teaching. So we're trying to keep the head out of contact, and so yes, but it changes every day.
Everything does, doesn't it?
It does.
Over time, yeah.
It does.
By the way, folks, if you not know, Coach has been selected and as a candidate to the, not a candidate, I guess you've been selected to the Texas High School. Tell me the name of all that group.
It's just the Texas High School Coach Association.
Yeah.
I've been selected to be, you know, on the board of directors, and so that happens at coaching school. Just nominated by some other fellow coaches, and then through an election, I was elected to be on it. So I'm excited about it. Excited about that. Excited to, you know, to represent Region 1, and just to be able to you know, be able to meet and conversate with some, you know, some really good leaders. And just continue to try to grow the profession, try to grow the association. So.
Well, I thought it was important for the fans out here at Dumas to understand exactly what you just did right there.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Oh, my turn. Okay.
You're right.
Well, I was just going to talk offense for a moment. 7-on-7 is not real football, but it sure does keep everyone competing. It keeps people interested. Keeps us fans, especially the nerd type of fans like I am, really interested. And I've already said earlier, I was out of town on the first day, and I was just dismal as I was looking at results. And then I didn't have internet the second day. And third day, I looked at it, and I couldn't believe it. So I had to call Zane when I got back in town. So tell me what 7-on-7 means, especially as far as those skilled players coming back and then Colton Mills as the quarterback coming back.
We've just experienced a lot of growth. I mean, we have one reason because the coach is back out of it. I mean, we can't coach it. We're not. We're there as administrators. We're there to watch and support our kids, but we're not there to coach our kids. And so our quarterback becomes our offensive coordinator. And so he's got to be able to make the calls. We're not making them. He's got to be able to read defenses and see what is working and what's not working. He's got to learn how to manage a game. And so he did that. He did that this summer, and he grew tremendously. Same on the defense side of football. We can't get in and out of different coverages. We do. We have probably 3 to 4 different coverages that we use in 7-on-7, and so our safeties are doing that. They're making the calls. They're getting us in and out of that. Kids have to think down and distance, where we're at, what's going on. You know, if it's you know, third and 15, I mean, how are we going to get off the field? What defense do we need to be in? What coverage do we need to be in? And so kids are really learning and growing. And so some of your struggles that you see are because of that. But kids learn from it. I mean, struggling is not a bad thing. I mean, getting put in tough situations, have to struggle through things is what you learn from. And so that's what we did in 7-on-7. You talk about our time down there at the state tournament. We came out the first day in a very, very tough pool. You know, and came out, and the first day we played 2 games and it started raining. Again, lost 2 of them by 7 points. I mean, that's 7-on-7. That's going to happen. Now our second one, we took it on the chin. We didn't play very well. We saw a lot of things come out in the team that I didn't like, and so we had the opportunity to get back to the hotel room that night. We had to be able to sit down and talk with the kids. Zane was there. Zane gave a devotional. And then I just opened up and talked a little bit and was honest with our kids. I mean, thought some places that we weren't very good. But the biggest thing that I talked about is that you know, tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new opportunity. I thought we needed to really focus on some of the fine things that we're doing, some of the small things, and we did that. And we came out the same day. We came out the first game and lost again by 1 touchdown. But then our kids just They never gave up. They always thought that we could, and then we came back over. Finally got that win. Just needed a little bit of confidence, and here we went. You know, we just one after another, just reeled off all the way to the championship
game.
We did, and so it was really, really good. Just in the championship game, I really thought that we were good enough to be able to win. I'm just. Man, we didn't have anything left. We had no gas left. Playing kids both ways, and we haven't done that sitting on set. We've always had an offensive group and a defensive group, but we were playing kids both ways. Just ran out of gas. Really, really proud of our kids though, and I think we were able to even that meeting in the hotel room, and then what we did on the second day, we were able to do that in the summer, and I think that's going to save us some grief or maybe some opportunities that it happened in the summer instead of happening in the middle of the football season.
Sure.
So,
Coach, that 7-on-7 was another chance to build that culture, that relationship, that confidence with each other, teammates, and all that. So if nothing else, that 7-on-7 does that.
it does. In football, I've said this before, in football we don't get to stay in hotel rooms much. I mean, we just don't. But in 7-on-7 we do. We travel a lot. We stay in hotel rooms. Kids are getting to hang out in the camaraderie, and us coaches as well. You know, we're in the hotel rooms as well. So just us off with the parents, and it's just it does create a family type atmosphere. We spend a lot of time together. We learn a lot about one another. And so if we weren't doing that 7-on-7, the different lineman challenge, I just think there's some missed opportunities, you know, to grow as a football team.
Well, your lineman's chart, channel challenge did as well in there.
They did. They did really well. We went, you know, we qualified for state again there in Abilene, and I think we finished 4th, and just competed extremely well down there against some really good teams. You know, Stephenville and just a bunch of good football teams. So excited about that.
Coach, one more side of the ball, special teams. It was, to me, last year one of the most exciting things. Our return game was unbelievable. The way that we were able to return punts, return kickoffs, and talk about the special teams side of the ball.
Sure. Well, you know, as we talk about defense and the new leadership, we've got some new leadership there because Coach Phillips was our special teams coordinator. He's now moving over to be our defensive coordinator. So he's not going to take on both jobs. We've got Coach Entherath will be our new special teams coordinator. Excited about what he does and excited about who he is. He's a great coach that does a really good job with our kids. So he's going to be taking over that, and that's just something we take a lot of pride in. You know, here we started camp. I know a lot of people might not start on it right away. I mean, we're already, as we are in 4 days deep in offense and defense, we're also 4 days in deep right now in special teams. We started day 1 with personnel and working our special teams and implementing that side or that phase of the game. And so we're excited about that. I mean, we had a freshman kicker last year that did a good job. He's back as well. And then we've actually got a kid, a freshman now, but Josh will be a sophomore. We've got another kid that was an 8th grader last year that's a soccer player for us that's on a freshman football team. And he's doing some really good things as well. So we've got a good competition there, good healthy competition to make us better. Johnny Marquez was our punter last year. He's back. And so this is also just a phase of the game where where kids have their opportunity to be a starter. You know, maybe if you're not an offensive starter or defensive starter, you can be a special team starter. So it's just another phase of the game where somebody can take a lot of pride and find their value and their worth.
So weapon, Johnny Marquez is the punter?
He is. Yes. You'll see
I
Johnny.
mean, if I'm the other team and I see Johnny Marquez going out there after he's already caught 2 touchdown passes and had 2 rushing touchdowns and had 3 interceptions, now he's going back to punt?
He is. He is. And again, that's a philosophy deal. We're not gonna. I mean, if you're a starter, I mean, you still might gonna start on special teams too. I mean, we're not. That's not gonna be a knockdown for us. I mean, we're gonna put the most capable kids there that give us the best opportunity to win. Sure. So excited about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it takes all 3 phases to win a ball game.
It does. You can lose on any one of them. You forget to play on any of them. It can cost you a football game. So.
Well, Coach, we're excited about the season. It cannot get here fast enough. Daryl, he's been texting me, but he's probably been texting you too. I know when all the milestone days are hitting because I know I'll be getting the text from Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
300 days,
That's right.
200 days.
It definitely feels and smells and tastes everything football right now. So
It does.
we're really excited about it. Excited about the new year and the new opportunities that are in front of us.
Well, thanks for being with us here. I do want to make sure that everybody knows. I mean, this man is busy.
Man.
He is the head football coach, but he's also the athletic director, and so
Over all sports.
so he is everywhere all the time.
Sure.
I text him during the week, every week, about things, and he's always heading from somewhere to do something, to meet with transportation or
Without a
coaches
doubt.
or
Without a doubt.
everybody else, and so he is always on interviews and calls. We take him up a couple times during the week as he does the radio show with you guys. We do the YouTube thing once during the week. I mean, you are a busy man right
That's
here.
it. That's all I know. That's all I know. It's the only way I prefer it. So,
But here we are.
yes, sir.
This is it. This is the season. So
We are.
I'm excited about it, Coach.
I am too.
All right. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll start talking to some of the assistant coaches. So we'll be back right after this break. All right, welcome back to Demon Stadium again as we preview this next year for the Dumas Demon football team. I'm joined by the offensive staff. I'm going to have each one of you guys introduce yourself and say what guys you coach, what position you coach.
I'm David Waddell. I'm the offensive coordinator and the quarterbacks coach. Cameron Linger, wide receivers coach.
Omar Hernandez, tight end H's.
Morgan Robinson, offensive line. Brock Diffenaffer, offensive line.
Trey Sheldon, running backs.
Jack Rubio, wide receivers.
Okay, I'm going to have you guys work together here. We've got a whiteboard behind us here. Everybody get a marker.
Oh boy.
I don't know if the top boxes might be too tall. We might just draw. Everybody get a box, okay? And put your name up by the little line. So if y'all need to draw another couple of boxes down there, which one you might use that one?
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, that, yeah.
Here, y'all might be able to trade spots. Here, look. When you go on that side, the coach, you go on the other side.
Tic-tac-toe looks like.
Oh, no, you're right. Okay, all right. Okay. This is good. We're showing great teamwork here. Okay, you might want to move your players out of the way. There you go, move it down to the bottom. All right, we're going to put a minute on the clock. Okay, minute on the clock, and then we're going to need you to draw the logo that's at the 50-yard line. Okay, draw the logo that's at the 50-yard line. Mark said go. All right, we got 30 seconds. Coach Waddell, I think he's perfected his there. Coach Robinson's got his in there.
Many years of staring Sadie right in the eyes.
Coach Diff perfecting the goatee there. There we got 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So and we can see here. I'm going to have Daryl and Dennis. Daryl, why don't you talk about these four over here?
Well, I think Coach Waddell really did a good job, but as the coordinator, he was really quick. He just did it fast. It was done, and I would say he did good. And Coach Linger, he looks like Mr. Potato Head, didn't he? And we got Coach Robinson, looks like a cat, and then a dog. So I'm going to pick Coach Waddell, unfortunately, to be the leader of this side.
All right, Dennis, why don't you break down these three over here for us?
Well, over here, I'm gonna pick Diffenaffer because at least he's got the horns and some of these, I think they miss.
I think Coach Rubio looks more like Hereford. The cow.
I think they missed art class back in high school.
I'm glad you didn't have us do that, because mine would be worse than any of those.
Well, don't ruin it for the defense. We're gonna make the defensive guys do this too. So, hey, thanks for joining us, guys. Looking forward to a great year. Again, this is the offensive staff. These guys have told us they're ready to put up 50 points a game this year.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's what Coach Waddell said.
On average?
We're gonna try.
I do have one question. If we went out and did a 50-yard foot race, who's winning?
Probably me.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, I want
Brock, you're not gonna win.
I want to ask in a few words, how would you describe your offense this year?
It's going to be pretty explosive.
I
We've
thought
got,
that's the word you're going to use.
if we can find an offensive line that gels together a lot faster than we
Right.
had. You know, last year we gelled at the end. We did not find those parts until about midway through the season. But if we can find those parts early on, I think our skill guys will be as good as we've had.
I was going to ask you about skill because we talked about that. Last year you had a lot of speed to go vertical with your skill guys, your outside receivers.
Yeah.
Do you have that same type of speed this year?
Yeah,
Similar
I think probably a little bit better, and the reason why is because our mentality going into this to this year has been to use as many of our athletes as we can, not just defensive guys or offensive guys, but we've gotten to where we share guys really well.
Yeah.
And so we've taken the best athletes that we have on either side of the ball and put them on the field at the same time. And I just think, we really do, again, you win games on the offensive line, you really do.
Yeah.
But if we can find that component, that will allow our skilled kids to really shine.
Well, I've nicknamed the Titan Temple the Road Grader because I think he can clear out a lot of space.
Absolutely.
Are you going to run behind him a lot?
Oh yeah, I mean he's one we're going to lean on. Charlie Gomez, we're going to lean on. Those are two returners that, from last year's squad. And again, we've got to find. We feel like we have a couple of positions already sealed up. We're still fighting it out for center right now.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Titan, absolutely. I mean, how can you not run behind a 300-pound offensive
Run
line?
behind him and then run by him, right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
I'd put him in the backfield if I was y'all. He'd get the line of scrimmage eventually.
Possibly.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Why don't you send those defensive guys in here?
Thank you.
All right. We'll take a break. Be right back after this.
Don't race your arm.
Around, get out, put our heads down, here we go.
All right, welcome back to Demon Stadium. We've got with us now the defensive staff from the Dumas Demons here in 2024. I'm going to have these guys introduce themselves and talk about what position group they coach.
Justin Phillips, defensive coordinator, also coach cornerbacks.
Coach Mariscal, coach safeties.
Tommy Anthrath, special teams coordinator and inside linebackers.
Jesus Rossi, defensive line.
Jonathan Kelly, defensive line.
Seth Dixon, outside linebackers.
Okay, I need each one of you guys to get one of the dry erase markers.
Let's kick you out.
Find a square on here somewhere and put your name up in the top left corner. So you're gonna have to maybe kind of spread out top. You might have to go underneath over here.
I got you. There you go.
Put JR.
Okay, we're going to put a minute on the clock. And what we're going to need you guys to do is draw the logo that's at the 50-yard line. Okay, draw the logo that's at the 50-yard line. Ready? Mark, set, go.
It's art class, guys.
Think about it.
And they're asking, what's this got to do with defense?
Like a cow.
You got 30 seconds.
I don't even know.
You got 15 seconds.
I can tell they paid a whole lot of attention to that.
That's right. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay. I'm going to have Daryl come in. He's going to break down some of these for us. Daryl, why don't you get Phillips and Mariscal here for us? Well, and maybe go in Thrath too. Get in Thrath.
Well, I can say this, I never was very good at art, and all three of y'all did better than me, but not one of you would have beat the offensive staff. Excuse me. Thank you.
All right, Dennis, why don't you get Rossi?
When I look at this picture right here, I don't see anything that looks like it up there. I don't know. Nothing for nothing is nothing. I'd say Anthrax probably be the best. Rossi not bad down there, you know.
No, it's not. Little round on the face.
Yeah. Like a chipmunk.
A chipmunk with a goatee.
They'll never make art class.
Well, Coach Phillips, this is going to be your first year
Yes, sir.
as head of the defense. We talked with Coach Dunham earlier. You know, again, he doesn't anticipate too much changing on the defensive side. Talk about your excitement of being able to be in charge of the defense this year.
Real excited. This place has a great history of playing really good defense. That's kind of what we've built our identity on, you know, since the Dunhams took over and Chad and Aaron coming in. And I'm just excited to just continue that trend. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to change much. More of the same, fly around, high energy on defense, be fundamentally sound and be disciplined. We don't do just a ton of different stuff, but what we do, we're going to do well. We're going to do sound football, and just keep doing what we're doing.
Well, the two secondary coaches, Coach Phillips and
Yes, sir.
okay, y'all really have to be really excited about this group of athletes that are coming back and coaching the secondary. Maybe say a few words about those guys.
And they're great kids. I mean, they learn quick. I mean, we got to kind of split their time up because most of them play offense and defense.
Mhm.
But when we get them, I mean, they don't skip a beat. They're on it. They're asking questions. They're learning. I mean, they're real good.
Good. Well, I'm predicting about 24 interceptions this year.
We'll do everything we can to make that happen, for sure. For sure.
Well, Darryl was asking about special teams a while ago. Give us an update on the special team coaching.
Nothing's going to change a whole lot. I mean, we're going to put, some people put their backups in, and we're just something we don't do that.
Yeah.
We're going to put the best 11 guys out on the field every single time, and we're going to be sound. And we're going to be assignment right, and we're going to, not let the other teams hurt us on special teams, and we're going to try to make big plays and gain some momentum.
Yeah. Well, on that defensive line, who do you see, that may not be the right question, how do you see the defensive line coming together to stonewall the offense on the other side?
Well, I'll let Coach Rossi talk on this second, but we've got some good guys coming back. We had one returner, Xavier Quiroga, who we're expecting a lot out of this year. He's stepping up and doing some good things. And I know they've been working with a couple other guys to kind of round out that defensive line. You want to say something on the D-line?
Yeah, I feel like our job is to put them guys in positions to succeed. I think we've done a great job with that. Like you said, we have a returner coming back in Quiroga that I think he'll make a lot of plays for us. And we also have some young talent coming up that I think will develop, and they're taking the steps they need to really contribute this season and make an impact.
If you had somebody that you could maybe right now, early on the season, I understand that, to say, this guy might surprise everybody, who would that person be?
I would say incoming junior Ray Stornberg.
Really?
He's made a lot of strides throughout these past few practices, and just the amount that he's grown between last year and this year, I think that he could be someone to definitely look out for. He plays with he plays with passion, plays with the motor, and I think he could be a very good season.
He's making a switch from outside backer to defensive end for the first time. He's never played defensive line, so he's learning still, and he's just in 3 or 4 days this week, he's gotten a lot better every single day. So that's kind of given us a lot of hope for what he can hopefully bring to us on the D-line.
Yeah. Well, Coach is telling us that the coordinator's going to be on the field, and when the play breaks, you're going to read the offensive formation, and your linebackers and safeties are going to be calling your defensive. How does that work?
Well, different spots on the defense have different responsibilities as far as calls go. Our Sam linebacker, he's calling the strength. So he's really the first one that's got to get it going. He's got to find the formation, find the strength, and get it called, because that kind of allows everybody else to start to do their job. Our Mike linebacker, he's in charge of all of our fronts, and that can be a pretty complicated thing at times. We expect him to be, our Mike has to be very smart and be able to make quick decisions and locate and make the fronts right, because that matches with our secondary and our safeties. So it's a big puzzle, and all the pieces have to fit just right, and all these guys have to be on the same page, or else those big plays can break.
And if you had to make a guess right now, that may not be a guess, but who would that Mike linebacker be?
It's Eden Loera, and I don't anticipate him losing that spot. He does everything we ask him to do. He's a senior. He works his butt off, and he does get those calls right. He's very good at getting the front where it needs to be, and he rarely gets it wrong. So that's pretty invaluable.
Well, on deep safety last year, M&O got several interceptions. I don't know how many, but a number.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen again this year?
We hope so. We hope so.
Yes, sir.
He's, him and Johnny both are pretty dynamic.
Who's going to be your key pass rusher? Besides all of them, but anybody that stands out?
Well, as far as D-line, Xavier Quiroga has some pretty good pass rush potential. We like our linebackers blitzing. We really do. We know we bring guys off the edge. Connor Fry is a really good, fast guy off the edge who can create some pressure. So those two, our D-line, our two outside backers, have really good potential to do that for us.
Connor Fry last year really showed speed to catch the play from behind.
Absolutely.
To make the tackle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a good job.
but before you guys head out,
I want to pick on the new guy for just a second. I don't know about you, Daryl, but when I heard that Seth Dixon was coming to coach here, I remembered Seth as a player at Hereford and as a wrestler at Hereford, a state champion wrestler. And so I got real excited when I heard the new guy one of the new guys on staff was going to be Seth Dixon.
Absolutely.
When I read that
Absolutely.
name, I thought the same thing. Yeah, we remember you in those Panther days. You probably remember Dumas too.
Oh, yeah, we make him remember. We don't let him forget. For sure.
Well, and Seth, why don't you talk for just a second? I mean, how excited are you to be able to come and coach this season?
I'm thrilled. Coach Dunham, he gave me an awesome opportunity, and he's helping me out. He gave me the outside linebacker role, and I got two great seniors that they're teaching me just as much as I'm trying to help them. So it's a blessing, and it's a great start for me. So I'm thrilled. So.
All right. Good to have you with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, I don't know if any of the players are still here or not. It got real quiet out there.
It's raining out there.
It is raining
They may
outside.
have went home.
They may have gone home. We'll see if we have some more players. If not, we'll come back and wrap things up here from Demon Stadium.
All right, welcome back to Demon Stadium. It's officially August 10th. So,
It is
And
40
we're-
days until the first football game, by the way.
that's right. You can tell we're still in the locker room, which means these guys aren't going to be able to go out tonight. But we're going to talk to some of the players. Some of the guys are going to be stars for this team this year. I'm going to have each one of them introduce themselves, tell what position or positions that you play, and we'll ask you some questions.
I'm James Coley, and I'm the starting receiver and corner.
And James, you are a senior this year. You're a varsity returning player. You've had some definite experience on varsity. What are you most looking forward to here in your senior season?
Improving off of what we did last year. We didn't do very good. Coming back with everybody that I played with last year, so hopefully we can improve.
All right.
Well, James, what would be your goals that you've set? Let's start with for the team, and then what your goal is to help the team achieve those goals.
Well, the first goal is to win a district championship.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do my best on both sides of the ball to help my team succeed that goal,
Okay.
and just move on from there.
Okay.
Go
If
in
you
the playoffs.
look, one other question. This is kind of for fun. If you're in a foot race with these guys over here, who's winning? Are you winning?
Eminem.
Oh, M&O hasn't hand up. I'm winning. Okay. Just wondering. Thank you, James.
James, what do you remember from last year that motivates you for this year? What went good, what went wrong, what motivates you for this year from last year?
Having a next play mentality, just forgetting the last play, moving on to the next one, improving from that, learning from your mistakes.
Yeah. You can't do the same play over, can you, once it's happened? Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, James, thanks for joining us. Anybody you want to maybe shout out to might be watching back at home?
That's all right.
All right. That's James Coley. He is number 12. You're going to see him on both sides of the ball this season. James, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it too.
All right. Who's up next?
You're on this end of the chair, so might as well.
All right. It's one of our returning captains from last season. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell what positions you play?
My name's Aaron Marquez. I play wide receiver and safety, sometimes corner.
Emmanuel, again, you're a guy with a lot of varsity experience. Returning again this season, you were, like I said, one of the captains from last year's team. What are you most looking forward to this season?
I'm looking forward to the new district, and we had West playing, and here to show them what this district is about and how we're gonna beat everybody.
All right, I like that.
Well, is your goal about the same as James as far as the team's concerned? District championship is the first goal?
Yeah, district champion's first for goal and eventually get to Jerry's World.
Okay, Jerry's World, I like that. Well, you went to the state track meet this past year, right, in the 100-meter run?
Yes, I did.
All right, so I really did think you would probably say you would beat those guys, especially in 100 meters, but what if we did 400 meters? Would you outrun all these guys still? Oh, you're still there? All right, so what are your personal goals then that you know you have to do in order for the team to have this kind of success?
Well, I want to lead this team and make sure like they know how to do their job. And first, like they gotta have fun too, and lead them and make sure like I know how to do my job to show everybody that I'm trustworthy, like I can do my job too, and just build trust with everybody.
Are you going to return punts and kickoffs again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm expecting 3 back for a touchdown, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And that's in the first game, and then we'll go after that.
Well, M&O, you look at the schedule this year, and you've got Canadian, and you've got Bushland, and then you've also got the district teams. What's your thoughts going into the Canadian game, which they've had tradition going to the playoffs all the time, and that Bushland team that you guys have yet to beat, I don't think. What's your thought about playing both of those teams?
Well, Canadians first, they're gonna be a real challenge for us, and we're gonna try our best, and we're gonna show them how we do it the Demon way. And,
I like that.
and for Bushland, their time to charm.
It's this time, yeah. It's time, yeah. Well, you had several interceptions last year. What goes into making an interception? Is it the plays? Just positions, just what goes into making an interception for you?
Well, first you gotta be like on guarding the receiver, and if you're lucky, like the quarterback throws a bad throw, or if you're fast enough to go catch the ball
Yeah.
before the receiver does,
Yeah,
and just get there before them and catch it.
yeah, go high and fight for the ball. That's a good job.
All right, M&O, anybody you might want to, that might be watching, want to shout out to?
My little brother, Ika. That's it.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for joining us. Looking for a lot of big plays
Thanks,
for this guy this year. All right. Next. Connor. Connor, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell what position you play.
I'm Connor Fry, and I play outside linebacker.
All right. I didn't mention this, but Emino wears number 4. Connor, number 11. Connor, again, you're returning player on the defense, and I really enjoyed watching you play this past season. I thought you made some big plays for our defense. Talk about what you're most excited about again coming back for your senior season.
So we play, hopefully do a lot better than last season, win more than 4 games.
Yeah.
Well, Connor, I would agree with what Zane said. We always think it's fun when a linebacker comes in and does a blitz, or like you did on numerous times last year, you'd come around your position and chase somebody down from the back. But all of that's geared upon their formation. You know when they're in a certain formation, you're going, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're going to see more of that this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and would your goals be about the same as Eminole and Justin
Yes, sir.
to go to Jerry's World maybe?
Yes, sir.
Did I say the right?
James.
James, I'm sorry. James, I apologize. If he didn't have his number on, I'm going to be really confused. So, all right, so do you have any personal goals that you may have set defensively?
Probably get more tackles and be more involved. Try to
Okay.
help the team.
All right, sounds great.
Well, before you guys got here, I had a chance to say what I thought was going to be big for this year. And I said, Dumas is going to go undefeated in district play. You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
I like that idea. But tell me, how do the coaches, linebacker coaches, coach you up to be a linebacker? What do they tell you to do, where and when and how to tackle and all that sort of stuff? What goes into being a linebacker?
It tells like if you need to be outside or not, to start to fold or reduce down to the line, and right, it depends on.
Just the formation and all.
Formation.
That's a difficult question, I understand, yeah. But I like your speed on that linebacker spot. We've talked about that before, how you catch the guys going around the opposite side, so that's big. Yeah.
Connor, anybody that might be watching tonight that you want to shout out to?
Probably my dad.
All right. Okay.
Sounds good.
That's Connor Fry, outside linebacker for the Demons, another senior, number 11. Right. Another outside linebacker coming in here. All right, Dustin, why don't you introduce yourself and tell about what position you play?
My name is Dustin Cody, and I play outside linebacker.
All right, Dustin again, a returning player on the defense. I think we sense the theme here for a lot of the guys in the room. And Dustin, again, you were one of the guys that that I've always thought. I think I even talked about you before last season started about being an impact player. What are you most looking forward to here in your senior season?
Getting more tackles and sacks, and just being a leader.
Well, I'm going to change gears real quick. Dustin, who's your favorite school teacher up at the high school? None of them are watching, but I just want to know.
I think I got one.
You don't have a favorite? Not even the top, just one of the top 10? Did you ever have Mrs. Waite? She was a librarian last year.
No.
She's watching right now. Just say she's mean. Okay. All right. Well, we've had outside linebackers. So, do y'all have a different label like weak, strong, or is there anything like that? Quick, slow?
Salmon drop.
Salmon drop. And what does that mean?
Just strong and weak side.
Okay, okay. So which one are you?
On the strong side.
You're the strong side, so you're the Sam,
Yes, sir.
okay, and then drop.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, just curious.
And so
Thank you.
do you make some of the calls for the defensive line? Is that
No, that's middle linebacker.
middle linebacker? Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right.
Would you rather have a sack of a quarterback or fumble recovery?
Sack.
That's what I thought, yeah, most linebackers do, yeah. Okay, good job.
How about pick up the football on a fumble and return for a touchdown or a sack?
Turn for a touchdown.
Okay. I'm predicting you'll get one this year.
I hope so.
Okay.
All right, Dustin, anybody that might be watching, you want to shout out to?
No, sir.
Okay, all right, thanks. That's Dustin Coey again, senior outside linebacker for the Demons, wears number 7. All right, we got next, let's go. Get down to the end of the line here. All right, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell what positions you play.
My name is Xavier Kuroga, and I play defensive end.
All right, and Xavier, again, one of the guys that defense is going to be counting on this year, a returner, a guy with experience, and really going to be one of the only guys on the, I think, on the D line that has experience. So talk about what you're looking forward to this season.
I'm looking forward to building this team better, like way better than what it was last year. I feel like we didn't really have a good season last year, and I just want to keep winning back to back all season long, like every other football team would want to do. I want to lead the D line as an experienced player on the D line, and I want to show them that even if you're undersized, whatever it may be, that you could, it's possible.
I wouldn't want to learn up against you.
No, I wouldn't either. And Xavier, I was going to look here and see what they said, how much you weighed and stuff. Don't worry.
240.
Said you weighed 240. Is that accurate?
235 right now.
235. We won't tell. We'll just keep it at 240.
If you're
All right.
practicing in 105-degree weather always.
All right. If you're in a race against these linebackers we talked to, I know you're not going to beat him. And no, you're probably not going to beat James. But can you outrun the linebackers? Say you can.
Probably just eat them more.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I was just curious about that. We're looking forward to exciting things from the defensive line, and I think you're going to have some sacks this year. It's going to be fun to watch you play.
What do you think is the key technique or skill level to being a defensive lineman?
Strength plays a big part in it. I feel like it's helped me, and especially putting on weight. Last year I weighed probably about 215,
Yeah.
and I've noticed a big difference now that I'm bigger, I'm
Really?
stronger. It's just I can manage people a lot better than I did last year. I feel like I'm gonna have a really good season this year.
Yeah. Whenever you're on defensive position and the ball snap, do you engage the offensive lineman, or you try to sweep him by and go on through?
Really just depends. I mean, our main focus is to always punch first.
Yeah.
You gotta like recognize if it's a run play or pass play,
Yeah.
but always get your hands on first. Never let them get their hands on you.
Well, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked a while ago. Would you rather have a sack or fumble recovery?
Sack.
That's what I thought. That's a good job.
All right, Xavier, anybody that might be watching, you want to shout out to?
My parents.
All right. Xavier Kuroga, he wears number 52. Again, another senior for the Demons you need to watch out for this season. All right, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Xavier.
Yeah, one more.
Thanks for hanging around.
Got, this is Johnny Football right here. All right, why don't you introduce yourself and say what positions you play?
I'm Johnny Marquez. I play receiver, running back, and safety.
And what else?
Fun.
There you go. Hey, Johnny, again, experienced player coming back on this year's team. Talk about what you're most excited about for your senior season.
Just to be a senior in our last, take every play, and be with all these guys. Been with them since we were little.
Yeah. So one last time to go out on the field with all these guys.
Yeah.
Played a lot of games with each other. Traveled a lot of different places. Played against a lot of different people. I'm excited to watch you guys out there this season too.
All right, Johnny, are y'all gonna go undefeated this year? Is that a goal, or is it a goal just to win the district championship? What's the goal?
To win this championship and probably go undefeated.
Okay, I like the undefeated thing, yeah. All right, Zane had us earlier, he said, I just want you to make a wild prediction. I want to tell you what my wild prediction was. I said, there's gonna be a game out there where Johnny Marquez is gonna have 200 yards rushing, 100 yards passing.
Yeah.
Is that a good prediction? I mean, receiving, and 50 yards passing, who knows? And average 60 yards punt. No, is that a possibility, since you're playing, because you're gonna be catching the ball still, you're gonna be running the ball, so.
Yeah. I'll probably get more of it.
Okay, I'm with you then, all right. I like your confidence.
Well, Johnny, you play both ways a good bit of the time. Do you prefer one or the other?
No, I really.
Not really? Yeah. So as a running back, and you go off tackle, and some 254-pound linebacker just smacks you down, how does that feel?
I love the contact.
Just get back up and go for the next play. That's good. That's good, yeah.
It's gonna hurt him more than it hurts you, right?
Yeah. Do you remember anything from last year that motivates you for this year?
But just to cover the H pop this year now.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's something y'all talked about.
Well, it's your senior year, along with some of the others. You guys go out with a flame of glory. All right, good job.
Johnny, anybody that might be listening or watching tonight you want to shout out to?
My brothers, my sister, and my parents.
All right. Johnny, thanks for
Thank
joining
you,
us.
Johnny.
And we look forward to it, Johnny.
You guys can go ahead and, I mean, if you want to get out of here, we're just going to wrap things up real quick.
Well, y'all can stay, it's up to you.
Make sure they're ready to go home. So, guys, just real quickly, I want to just, I do want to, and we mentioned it a couple times, but got a little bit different schedule this season. You know, I think in our minds, you make the playoffs, you're still going to make a trip down to Ratliff or, you know, one of those stadiums down there.
Yeah.
That's the plan, but it's not in the regular season. The regular season is going to look a little bit different. A week from yesterday, we're going to play our first scrimmage, and it's going to be here. And it's going to be against a team that we've scrimmaged the last couple of years in Lubbock, Coronado, a team that's all the teams that we're going to scrimmage are going to be highly talented.
Mhm.
They're going to show us a lot. It's going to, I think, be eye-opening for us in certain things. Of, wow, I mean, look at what we can do with these teams, but also look at what these teams can do. You know, here's some things that we need to work on. That's exactly what you want to get out of a
Yes.
scrimmage.
You really don't want to dominate the team. I don't. I think you want to have a challenge during the scrimmage. I mean, you want to build some confidence and be confident that you can do some things. But what you really want to do is see where you need to improvement, where you need to work harder. So I agree. I think the three teams we're playing in scrimmages all are going to tell us all three are going to have speed, and that's going to help us because we're going to play some teams this year that have a lot of team speed, and you have to learn. You have to learn to play with that. You know, it doesn't mean we say a speed team. You can learn to play against that, and you learn by playing against that.
Yeah.
And then I think Monterey. I keep reading good things about Lubbock, Monterey, about how they may be a surprise team in District in that District 2, 5A, and in the region.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to tell you a lot about how your defensive line and offensive line are coming on. Because I think if the 5A Division I players, they're going to have a big offensive line, I think, and they're probably going to have a big defensive line. And we'll get to see what our offensive line does against them and our defensive line does against them. I think that'll be a really good scrimmage for us.
Me too.
Well, all scrimmages are intended to give the coaches coaching opportunities to go after the scrimmage, go and coach up the technique that they saw during the scrimmage. Last year, you know, we scrimmaged against Coronado and then was it Caprock, I believe it was, and we pretty much had our way with those teams, if I remember right. And then we opened up with Lubbock Cooper and we got a lesson. So you got to understand that scrimmages are worth a lot, but I don't think Coronado and Caprock was what they were supposed to be, and we got overconfident until we met Lubbock Cooper. But we got all that corrected in the time, but you gotta be careful about scrimmages, about what they teach you.
Mhm.
And so we have the first one at home. The second one will be a kind of a tri-scrimmage where it's going to be us, Halladuro, and Lubbock Monterey. It'll be at Dick Bivens Stadium, which I'm excited. It's been a long time since we've been to Dick
It really
Bivens
has.
Stadium. I mean, it would be when we played in district with Emerald High and
I think
Caprock.
2017 was the last time we played.
Okay.
at Bivens Stadium.
And so we've got the scrimmage there, and I was just reading today about some upgrades they've made there to the lighting. They've got a new video board. They've got another scoreboard on the opposite end so that you can actually see the clock no matter which way you're going as a team there. And so it's going to be neat to scrimmage there. And then you turn around in week one, and we're going to play against Caprock back there in the same stadium. So it's a good. I don't guess any of our guys have played at Dick Bivens Stadium, so they'll get kind of accustomed to what it's like, and then go back and be able to play an actual game there the next week.
And I think it was 19 was the last time, because we did play Caprock
Oh, yeah.
coaches first 2 years here,
That's
18
right.
and 19. So,
Well, the first game, actual game is gonna be in Amarillo at Caprock in Dick Bivens Stadium. Caprock's got a new coach this year. I don't know if they brought in a new offensive scheme or not, but that might be interesting to go over and watch that, and we can talk to Coach later about that. But we want to invite the fans to go over there and watch, because it'll be a good ball game one way or another.
It's going to be exciting. It'll be the kickoff to the season. The Demons will be at home the following week, and it's going to be homecoming that week. And it'll be a familiar opponent that we haven't played for a few years. We'll invite the Borger Bulldogs to come into town for homecoming as we open up September.
yes, that should be a good game for Dumas, and probably a good game for homecoming.
Yeah.
And always looking forward to playing Borger. And I'm hoping that in the future we'll get that rivalry going with Perryton again. I know when I grew up in the 70s, and then going back when I watched football in the 60s, Borger and Perryton were always on the schedule, so I enjoy seeing them on the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're looking for the full schedule, whoever it is, just bring them on, we're ready to play them.
Well, to me, after those first couple weeks, you talk about revving it up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because we two out of the next 3 weeks, you got home games on either end of that. Right after that is against Canadian. You travel the next week on the road to Plainview, and then the following week back at home against Bushland. Which to me, all three of those games very interesting. For one, because Canadian and Bushland, once you step down out of Class 4A, that is the competition. Those two teams are the top teams that you could play underneath Class 4A.
Yeah.
They're both in different divisions of Class 3A. Bushland in Division 1, Canadian I think in 3A Division 2. But that's just a classification, that's just a number. Those teams are again, in non-district play, going to show you exactly where you're at.
And both those teams, Canadian's been good, and maybe since Dumas in the 60s, Canadian may have had the best 10-year record of any team in the Panhandle since then. And they've really put it together the last 10 to 15 years. There's no doubt about that. And I think what makes them so good is that they do the same thing they've been doing for I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
Those kids were doing that when they could walk.
Yeah.
When they were 3 years old, they were doing that. And it's the same offense, and their skilled players are always excellent. And it's going to be a good test to see where you are on the third week of the year and see how our skilled people match up, because that'll say a lot. As long as we can compete with them.
And you gotta play the best to find out how good you are.
Yes.
That's always a cliche, I guess that's true, I don't know. But anyway, what I liked about one of the players, when we asked about playing Canadian, he said, they don't know about Dumas Demon football either.
True.
So that's gonna be an interesting comment to see how that plays out as well. Let's introduce Canadian to Dumas football and see how it turns out.
the next 2 weeks you have a chance at redemption.
Yeah.
Plainview was able to get us last year on the road there, in an exciting game. That went down towards the end of it. Again, I think that they're gonna see a little bit something from Dumas this year in the Plainview game, but also in the Bushland game. You got the opportunity again. What felt like a game last year in Bushland that we kind of hit them in the mouth a little bit that they didn't expect.
It was 16 nothing half, I believe it was.
And then I don't think they scored in the second half. I think we held them scoreless in the second half. So.
Yeah, so again, chance of redemption in those two games. Excited about those weeks.
Johnny's right. Third time's a charm.
That's right.
Well, let me ask you a question then. When you look at our district, who do you think is going to be the toughest in the district other than the Dumas Demons? Is it going to be West Plains, Canyon, or Randall?
Yes.
Either one of those three.
All.
I think that everybody's going to present, different challenges every week. I'm not going to give anybody any bulletin board material over the next few weeks. It's not going to be any surprise every week when we pick Dumas to win. And I think, I texted Coach Dunham just a few weeks ago and told him kind of what my prediction was on everything. I think that the prognosticators got it wrong. I think they're underestimating what we've got here. Not just because we have a certain amount of numbers returning or certain guys. I think we've got a special group that's come and has a fight and a hunger inside of them. I think still that we play in one of the toughest districts in the state, and it didn't get any easier by adding West Plains.
No, it took a step up and got harder.
West Plains lost a lot of their skilled players, and maybe total players from last year that went deep into the playoffs, and they're going to be a good team. Canyon, we know about them, and Randall, we lost by one last year that maybe we should not have, but anyway, that's really what play football.
It is.
Tee it up and go see what happens.
And Canyon's a unique. There's three teams in Canyon, and the uniqueness that they have that maybe Dumas doesn't have is from this point on, when Amarillo grows, where people move, they're going to be in the city of Amarillo, but they're going to be in the Canyon ISD. So you never know what 7th, 8th, 9th grader has moved in to one of those places. You have no idea, and then all of a sudden they're going to surprise you as a sophomore, and you're going to say, "Where did this guy come from?"
Sure.
But that's going to be the reality of Canyon ISD. All three schools, unless something else unique happens around Amarillo.
Yeah.
And that's so unlike Dumas because
we're locked in.
Well, we're locked in, but also we do not. I mean, we do have a good economy and a growing economy, but we don't have the move-ins that Amarillo does. And the Amarillo move-ins are good. Most of them are going to end up in Canyon ISD.
I will make this prediction without revealing anything else. Dumas and Hereford will make the playoffs, which means one of the Canyon ISD teams won't.
I agree with that.
I'll say that. I'll say that much. Well, guys, anything you want to wrap up final before we get off tonight? Go back to bed.
I'm just looking forward to the season, and I always am, and I'll text you tomorrow about 7 and tell you 20 days. And then 5 days later, I'll tell you 15, and then we'll take the countdown on day 10. So, yes, I'm always excited. I started to get excited last week when you told me we were doing this show, and it was just like, Dumas Demon football's almost on the air.
Well, I think I saw a Facebook credit to Coach Dunham over here that said it's 21 years and the passion is still just as strong as it was the first year. We've been doing this for 21 or 22 years, and I guess you'd call it passion what we do, but it's about the same as it was on year one, so we're all together.
I can promise you, when you tune in and watch our games this season, you'll never have to wonder who we're rooting for.
We're homers and we don't apologize. That's my
single play, every single snap, we will hold your attention, and we will be excited.
We will be excited, and when someone breaks, we were looking for the Dumas ISD YouTube. My wife and I were before it came up because she wanted to watch it, and so we're looking, and then there's one of those you click on, and it's just a all of these calls and you're seeing these players. And as soon as someone gets in the break and the opening, my voice just elevates real loud. I don't get excited at all.
So be tuned in the end for Dumas Demon football this season. We're excited to be back for another season and excited to see what this team can do this year. Thanks for being with us here tonight, and we'll see you in
3 weeks.
3 weeks from yesterday.
Yes.
Gig 'em, folks.